Hi, I'm Jordan Pansey, and I'm going to be teaching you how to cook some hamburgers today with a bunch of different accents. Let's get started.
Cooking time with Jordan Pansey. Hey, that's me!
Now, the first step is to locate the kitchen. Sometimes this is a little bit difficult for people because they don't know what the kitchen looks like. But we can look for items that tell us we are in the right spot. The first one here is the oven. The oven is used for cooking. These things get hot and they cook your food. The other thing that tells us this might be the kitchen is we got some delicious muffins sitting right here on the counter. Delicious. Now the first thing that we want to do when we're cooking hamburgers is put that hamburger meat right out of the freezer where we got it. Fresh ground beef. And this is the good stuff, but you see, I was supposed to thaw this out, so this is gonna take some time, but what we can do to speed up the process is simply turn on some hot water and put it under the hot water. Now we're gonna leave it there for about an hour. And we're gonna let the water run for an hour. It's a little bit of a waste of water, but don't worry, we're all eco-friendly because we throw away the wrapper when we're done. Now, if you decide you don't want to leave it running, what you can do instead is fill up a nice little pot like this one with the hot water and leave it in there just like that, and you will save a little bit more water than trying to use all the water for an hour. So instead, we're just gonna leave it in this pot of hot water for an hour, and then we're gonna walk away and do some other things.
Jordan Pansey back here with the rest of the video. As we're waiting for this beef to thaw, we can actually head over, look in this nice pile of dishes and locate the frying pan. Now some of you may think this was the frying pan, but actually you are mistaken. Betty Crocker's genius, but what we want to be working with here is a little bit of pan action, frying pan if I am correct. Now what we're going to do to prepare the burgers, we're actually going to want to add some onions, and to do that we need to fry them, so a little bit of vegetable oil will be just fine. And we need to locate the onions out of the fridge. Now when we're looking for the onions in the fridge, it's really important to remember the stance when you sit down, not to bend your knees too much, just a little bit, and lift. Now I locate the onions. They are red onions, in fact, quite delicious with the hamburger when fried accurately. So what we're going to do while we're taking them out is chop them up into little pieces. Pick your favorite of these two cutting boards to cut them on, and I will select this wood castle one. I love castles. This one doesn't really have any name brand, so we will discard it and shun it and never use it ever again. Now most people will have left this bag locked or tied in a knot, and we untie that knot just to get to our prize money. So this amount of onion looks pretty good. You don't want too much, you don't want too little. You just want to taste it with the hamburger that you are preparing, and it will taste absolutely incredible. We are going to select a knife out of our selection of knives. We have two knives. We have the serrated blade here, we have a flat blade. Depending on how you want your onions cut, you will pick one or the other. In this case, I'm going to pick the serrated one because I like the little chop on the teeth looking things. That's very delicious. Oh yes, indeed. When you cut the onions, now this is very important. Pay close attention to this one. You don't want to cut your finger off, so don't put your finger under the knife. This is a common misconception. Most people will stick it right under there, and it's just a mess. You don't want to be tasting blood in your food. So keep your thumb far away and slice back and forth. Nice easy motions to get a good collection of onions. See, when it gets close to my thumb like this, I move my thumb over so I don't risk cutting it. That is not what you want to do. Now as we finish up here, perfect. Most people right out here like to get pretty dang confused because they're just waiting for their beef to thaw and they're waiting for the frying pan there to heat up, and they don't really know what to do. But I'm here to tell you that if you just have patience, patience is a virtue. God will take care of you, and you'll be just fine. So, you know, just wait for that beef to thaw out and let that frying pan heat up nice and slow, and everything's gonna go just fine, okay? Just want you to know, hang in there. Hang in there, please. There's a plan for you, okay? Okay. Something I just realised I forgot, which is quite possibly one of the most important steps to cooking anything in the kitchen, is to have music playing. It was a little bit dry in here for a bit, but now we're gonna get some stuff going. Load Spotify. If you don't have Spotify, get Spotify, because Spotify is fabulous. It does everything musically needed to all your musical needs. They will be satisfied, and then some. Then search Post Malone, Beer Bongs and Bentleys. This is a great new album. Check it out. Hit shuffle play on that, and we shall just start listening. Turn up the volume all the way, and now we are actually cooking.
So, now that we know that our beef is almost thawed because it's been in here for at least 3.5 hours, you know, at this point we're getting a little bit hungry. We're gonna start actually frying the onions. So, the key is, when you put them in, you don't want to let them splatter. And that oil is pretty hot because it's been heating up for at least 3 hours. So, when we put them in, we're going to do it really nice and slow and just push it in. There you go, just like that. Sometimes you just do it one piece at a time, but this time we're going to do a couple pieces at a time. And as you can see, it's sizzling. That means it's cooking.
Now this next part is pretty dang important. You gotta pick out which spatula you want. There's 4 spatulas here, and if you really know your stuff, you're gonna pick out the right spatula. So, which one do you guys think it is? Go ahead and point. Oh yeah, this is a YouTube video. You guys can't really contribute to the conversation, so I'm just gonna pick for you. I specifically like this one because it don't have any of those stupid little slits in it. I don't know what the heck those things are even for, man. Who even knows? So let's go with this little guy just because it kind of stands out. And we're gonna kind of just maneuver the onions around a little bit because we don't want them to just cook on one side. And you can just throw these in the trash. These are useless. So we'll just we'll get rid of these because we're never gonna use those again. Now, quite possibly the most important part is about to come up. So now that we know that this beef is pretty dang thawed, it might be a little bit still icy in the center, but we're gonna dump out all that hot water. We're gonna squish it around, and it feels good. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna pick out a different knife, not that knife we used earlier to cut the onions, because that's just a little weird. Oh, well, we only have one other knife option, so we're gonna look in the dishwasher for another separate knife. And if we look right here in the knife little pocket, we find one, and we're just gonna cut it open right here. See where it says ground beef? We're just gonna stab it, and it's gonna hurt. And we're gonna kind of just slice it open nice and slow, and then we're gonna pull it apart, and it's gonna come out pretty quick. And you don't want to stab yourself with a knife, so you might just want to throw the knife in the trash at this point. And then we're gonna pull out all the extra stuff right there, and you see it's coming out pretty fast. And this got some blood, and oh my god, some blood. Oh, we're gonna bring it over to where we're cooking, and we're gonna essentially just split it in half as best we can right here. We're gonna cut it, and it's pretty frozen in the center, so this may be kind of difficult. And I wasn't trained for this. Oh, I broke it. It's still pretty frozen, but that's okay. We're just gonna put in 2 little patties. And it's about as good as it's gonna get. I'm gonna turn on the service light here so y'all can see what I'm doing. Hope that helps. And if we want it to thaw out a little bit quicker, well, actually we wanna make patties because that's what a hamburger looks like. It's got a patty. But if we want it to thaw out a little bit more, we're gonna put a lid on it. But before we can put a lid on it, we gotta wash our hands because at this point the hands are pretty gross. So I'm gonna wash them up here. I'm gonna wash with soap because I don't want to get no trichinosis, because I heard you can get trichinosis from beef, and beef is just kind of sketchy. But They also say watch out for pork, chicken, or any really raw meat. So I'm gonna wash my hands, dry my hands with this towel here, and then just gonna discard that towel. And then I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna get a little thing right here, the little lid, and I'm gonna put it on it.
So, yeah, it was supposed to be a little more thought out than it was. So, might be a little icy in the middle when you bite into it, but we're not gonna worry about it too much. At this point, we've got to my favorite part, which is cutting the cheese.
While you wait for your beef to cook, go visit your friends for 2 hours. It'll need some time to cook. You don't want to get trichinosis. Hi guys. Bye guys. While we're waiting for our burger to cook, what we want to do is actually prepare our plate. So we go to the plate cupboard, and of the 4 plates, select the big plate, not the small plate, big. And now we will take the bread out of the bread bag. This can be the trickiest part because sometimes these things are wrapped up pretty freaking tight, but I got it out pretty quick and easy. And now I will take my bread, and you don't want an end piece because nobody likes end pieces. And since we don't have hamburger buns, we're using this instead. So I hope you guys like buttermilk bread. It's pretty good. Anyway, what I wanted to say was put these in the toaster and toast them because it's gonna be way better if these things are toasted. But you don't want to over toast them, so don't over toast them. Just put it in and press a button and it should be all good. Okay. Now when the burger has reached the end of its life, we can add the cheese finally. See it right on top right there. Oh, it's perfect. And then we put the lid on and then we let it sit. And it's perfect.
Now for my absolute favorite part is the condiments. And then I pick out these ones. I like the Hidden Valley Ranch, I like buffalo, I like ketchup, I like a little bit of mustard on my stuff out there. And you won't want to squirt too much, you just want a little bit of squirting to happen, not too much of a squirt. But to prevent that, we want to shake it up a little bit and do a little bit of mustard on this number here. And there, yeah, that's a little bit too much actually, because we're doing 3 sauces. We don't want to do too much of one sauce or not enough. I actually save the buffalo ranch for the topping, and I actually put ketchup and mustard on each side here. And then the other top and bottom there is still cooking. And you want to shake it up. There you go, just like that. Oh, that's the good stuff right there. And what I'll usually do is I'll kind of smear it around a little bit with my finger, just like that. Mix in that ketchup and mustard. Let them get to know each other real well, because they're going to be working together when you be tasting them and checking them out for the goodness of their hearts. So the next step here, let's let me lick my finger there and take off this little top part there. As we can see, the cheese is done pretty well. Looks pretty delicious. It was deep fried. And I'm going to lay it right on top. Oh, and it's perfect. And as you can see, we got some fried onions in there with it that I'm going to dump right on top as well. And now that other last part here, we want to put this right in the sink. And it is a hot one, so I'm going to put some cold water in it. Let it soak for a little bit before I wash that little sucker. Very important, let it soak. Also the lid, that stuff is toxic, don't touch it. Not really, it's just real hot. And I'm going to pop this off, and we can see these 2 breads are toasted real well. And this is where I'm going to top it with the buffalo sauce. Just like I said, the buffalo sauce is the main ingredient here. Oh yeah, just the way I like it. Then you pop these little babies right on top, pour yourself a glass of milk, and let me tell you, you're good to go. Hope you enjoyed this segment of cooking with Jordan Pansey. Jordan Pansey here. Like, comment, subscribe if you really enjoyed this video cooking. If you like cooking, you can recommend some other stuff for me to cook and I'll cook it for you. I'll teach you how, the right way, not the wrong way. I don't teach the wrong way. Okay, God bless you.